Hey guys, what's up? It's Mogozoki and welcome to a new video. So for this video I wanted to check out Chronicle. The reason being is I'm fully aware this is not going to be, I guess, technically a RuneScape video, although Chronicle is the newest game released by Jagex, and it's basically RuneScape the card game, if there was one. There are cards involved in this game. Whether it's actually a card game or not, well, that's up to your interpretation, I guess. However, the first thing I have to say before we really get into a game, because I do have a game to show you guys, because that's the main purpose of checking out this game, kind of reviewing it, giving some first impressions, and telling you guys whether it's any good or not, whether it's worth your time. I am a fairly experienced Hearthstone player, so when I first started up this game, I was getting a lot of deja vu. I was like, oh, well, this interface looks really familiar. So, also, especially once you get into like the card crafting and deck forming part of Chronicle, it does look extremely familiar to anyone who's played a decent amount of Hearthstone in their time. There's a couple different game modes here. You can play against the AI in practice, and you'll get some rewards from that for your first few games against the AI, so that's probably a really good place to start out. You get some card packs to get you started. And then after that, you probably want to go straight into ranked and playing against other players. You can also do casual mode, but I mean, it's all about the ranked, let's be honest. And then there's also dungeoneering mode, which is basically Chronicle's version of Arena from Hearthstone. It's pretty much the same concept. You draft your deck, you play, and once you die 3 times, you get a reward. So, going into the game itself, I was kind of expecting, your traditional card game, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see that this was something that I haven't exactly seen before. So, how Chronicle works, probably the best way that I can sum it up is there's 5 rounds. You get a good amount of cards at the start, and you get to replace any cards, a mulligan, essentially. Any cards that you don't want, you can go ahead and say, get out of my hand, and you have a potential of drawing them later in the game, but you do get them replaced. And at the start of each round, you'll gain 3 cards, and for each of the 5 rounds, you can play 4 cards total. Now, the different types of cards is there's monsters that your character can fight. Your character is always going to start out with 30 health and 2 attack. And the point of all these rounds is either buffing your own character, getting gold, which you can spend on cards to further buff your character, or there's also cards that you can play that will hurt your opponent in some way. So, the interesting fact of this is most card games you play 1 card at a time, or maybe a couple cards at a time, and then your opponent goes and your opponent plays a couple cards, and then it's your turn again after feeling the effects of that. So you're constantly acting and reacting to each other. This game is very different because both of you play 4 cards at the same time. You're not sure how that's going to work, how that whole dynamic is going to happen with what your opponent is playing and what you're playing. So you basically get 5 really big turns in the game, and it is much harder to kind of react to what your opponent is doing, but I like it. It's definitely different, I can say that for sure. So my strategy so far has been try to amass some gold, try to get your character's base attack up, because you start the game with 2 attack as your character. That's pretty bad. It's pretty hard to kill anything. There's a lot of weapons in this game. As far as I can tell, every single class has access to weapons, meaning it's a temporary buff to your attack. So that's one of the easy ways to get stronger. Or some monsters even will increase your base attack, which will be a permanent upgrade to how much damage you can deal. So, like, my strategy so far has been try to get gold and try to get base attack, and then at the end of the game, or at the last round even, at the 5th round, I will give myself a whole bunch of buffs, such as extra health, extra armor. I'll try to equip a really powerful weapon. The strongest one that I've been able to find so far is the Saradomin Godsword, which is like +7 attack. It's really good. And then at the very end, if any of the 2 characters are still alive, then you fight each other in kind of a turn-based combat system. And the ending fight is a little weird, but we'll get to that. I kind of have a few issues with how exactly the ending fight goes down, but once we get to that point, we'll talk about that. But, for the most part, it's basically just you play creatures that are weak enough that you can easily kill them. And this is kind of where there's like a risk-reward system, because the stronger creatures give much better rewards when you kill them. They'll give you like more gold or more attack or armor. However, obviously fighting the stronger creatures have a potential to kill you. Like, for example, if you get down to really low health, and then unbeknownst to you, your opponent plays a card that like deals 4 damage to you, you can just kill yourself. So in the gameplay, there's a lot of risk reward involved, and I really like that quite a bit. It adds a bit of tension to the game. So probably one of the main things that we have to worry about as RS players, this is going to be by far the main audience that this game is going to appeal to, because right now the main places it's being advertised is in RS itself. And when you go into the lobby, it's like, hey, play Chronicle, check it out. Is this game going to be compatible with RS? Meaning, like, can you do something on the main game? Can you get your gains in fishing or woodcutting or smithing or something really AFK while you're playing Chronicle? And just like Hearthstone, which I have always thought is one of the best games to play as an RS player because it's so easy to play both at the same time, this game works really well for that. There's a lot of downtime and it's a very low intensity game. While your character is running around these fields, killing all the monsters and, you know, gaining all his new equipment and rewards, that's a solid 30 to 45 seconds of time where you can do stuff on RS. So that works really well. Also, just when you're selecting your cards at the start of each turn, there's some downtime involved there. Super easy if you have the dual monitor set up to play this in conjunction with RS. And even if you don't have the dual monitor set up, it should be fairly easy just to tab back and forth between games. You could also just try forcing the game into windowed mode. As far as I can tell, there's no way to do that in the game itself, but there are tools that you can download to accomplish that sort of thing. Anyway, we're getting into the 5th round here, and this is really where you want to get all your buffs. If you have any cards that do damage to the enemy hero, those can be pretty handy as well. Now, this is the main balance issue I've seen with the game so far. The only advantage that you have for going second is you gain 1 extra card, which it's whatever, it can be good. But going first gives you just like a massive advantage, because at the end of the game, if neither character is dead, how you decide the winner is a turn-based fight back and forth, and both characters are so buffed up at this point, and the maximum health is only 30, and you can gain a decent amount of armor as well. That can potentially help, but for the most part, you're only going to be able to take like 2 or 3 hits at the end because both characters are so strong. So whoever is the first player is just going to have like a massive advantage. Like this particular fight here, whoever went first wins the game. And unfortunately, I went second, so I lost. But that was a fairly close game, and it was a lot of fun, so I'm not too salty over it. Anyway, it's time for the final verdict now. Is Chronicle a good game? And so far, I can say, yeah, it's pretty decent. I was pleasantly surprised how good this game is. I came in with very low expectations, and the game, it exceeded my expectations. I'll just say that. Is it the best game? Is it like, you know, a replacement for Hearthstone? Maybe if you're really into the Runescape theme. I can say for that, for me, that personally does a lot. So I really enjoy the Runescape theme and like seeing all these familiar characters and weapons and stuff like that. So I would probably play this game over Hearthstone. Is it a better game than that, or, you know, other card games as well? Because others do exist. It's not just the one Blizzard game that's king of all. You know, it is pretty good. It stands up. I wouldn't say it's the best card game out there, but it's a solid one. So I would recommend for you all to try it, especially if you're looking to get some AFK gains on RS in the near future. Give this game a shot, and yeah, let me know what you think of this game in the comments below. I'll definitely be playing a little bit more of it, and hopefully I might even run into some of you guys within the game itself. Anyway, that's all for me. I'll see you guys in a few days with the next video, so until then, farewell.